Wake up, gaming fans, because we've got a lot of very, very important stuff to cover. Calling this video From Helldivers to Dumpster Divers. How Arrowhead Game Studios sold out, betrayed, and drove away their paying customers. I believe right now we stand on the precipice of a very important time in the history of gaming. And this is one of those times where people need to sit up, clear what's going on around them, and pay attention. If you're not paying attention to me, be paying attention to someone who's covering this. I'll show you some of the people who are covering this because I'm going to react to some of their videos. They're laying this shit out here. This is a fascinating time. And it's a time where either gamers are going to roll over and take it up the ass once again, which doesn't seem like it's happening, thank God, and ruin the gaming industry, or finally a stand is going to be taken against the kind of stuff that's happening. This is an important moment. What Helldivers has done to their community, and I'm not even a part of their community, but I have friends and workmates and people I know who are part of their community. You probably do as well. It's been a very, very popular game. Came out of left field. Nobody saw it being popular. Boom, it was. Everybody thought Helldivers was the savior of gaming for right now, just like Baldur's Gate 3 was last year. Helldivers is a savior of gaming. Look what it's done for gaming. Look what it's done for community. Look what it's done for gamers. Uh-oh. They lied to you all on purpose. You don't know what I'm talking about, or you do know what I'm talking about, and you want to hear more? Stay tuned. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. I've got an opinion on almost everything. I share some of them with you guys. I encourage you to drop in the comments and get involved in the discussion. Once again, don't be a dick. Don't call people names. Don't argue just for the sake of arguing. You want to have a different opinion, you're allowed to have one. But we're here to discuss this. We're here to discuss my opinion, because it's channel, I guess. I don't know, whatever. It's kind of your guys' channel, too. Doesn't really work without you. So feel free to drop into the comments and leave some comments. Don't forget also to, subscribe and follow and do all that good stuff. Gosh darn it, I got an itch on my back. Wait a minute. Oh, don't you hate it when you have an itch you just can't scratch? I can scratch that one. So we're going to be tackling a bunch of videos here, and we'll see how far we get into each of them. We want to get the important news out, though, and cover what others are saying. And Endymion TV with his video Mass Exodus as fans reject Helldivers 2. And Sony PlayStation panics and woke community managers attack. Also, Geeks and Gamers with extremely political, woke, and hate gamers. Helldivers 2 team exposed. Then we'll be covering Helldivers 2 This is Crazy by Asmongold Clips. Geeks and Gamers with Sony just delisted Helldivers 2 in nearly 199 countries. And Razovi revived with Steam refunds Helldivers 2 for everyone. Let's get into some of these and see what they've got to say, what I think, what you think, because once again, this is the precipice of something in gaming. It is time to pay attention and take a stand. Let's go.
Endymion, and oh boy, is there a firestorm of self-created nonsense going on right now for all the wrong reasons. In the giga-brain move of Sony's higher-ups, they have just decided to anger the entirety of their PC gaming community when it comes to Helldivers 2. Beyond this, Helldivers CEO has spoken about this as well, and community managers are digging the grave ever deeper. And there's a Sony patent that will allegedly track your biometric data and ban people based on it. Yeah, we'll get there.
What?
But first, let's look at this article from that Park Place titled Helldivers 2.
Are you fucking kidding me? Gonna track your bio data and ban you based upon it. Color me surprised, but at the same time, if you've been paying attention, are you surprised? If you haven't figured it out, they hate white male gamers. Yes. This group from Arrowhead Game Studios, as well as Sony PlayStation, hates white male gamers. Okay? Haven't figured it out. There's enough evidence. It's self-evident.
Players threaten to quit the game after developer announces mandated PlayStation Network account linking. So here I am, waking up, making a cup of coffee, and opening up Twitter to see what lovely news is happening today.
Couldn't believe when I heard
only
this.
to witness the nuclear wasteland forming around Helldivers, and yeah, it's not looking good, fellas. In case you missed it somehow, basically Sony has decided to shoot themselves in the foot on purpose here. Here's what they said officially, and I quote. Attention Helldivers, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games.
Did you hear that? Can I just back that up a little bit?
Period will now expire. See details below in this
There we go.
post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games.
So it's about protecting our players. Who wants to bet it's about protecting them from words of people who would maybe tell the truth to them? Do you want to bet? This is about censorship. Censorship in gaming. They want to censor your voice. And if they don't like what you're saying, they will kick you out of the game and ban you forever. The game that you bought. Guess what? Guess what's going to be on their list of things that you can't say? Just go ahead and guess. I'm not going to tell you. Just guess. Just guess.
Games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior.
Sure, griefing and abuse. What is griefing and abuse? Someone didn't call me by my pronouns. They're griefing and abusing me. Banned for life. Someone didn't agree with my opinion on politics and about how the left or the right or the middle or the up or the down or the inside out are the only right way. Ban. Someone didn't agree with the fact that people can be more than just male or female. They can be anywhere in between or anything around about in a hexagonal circle around it. Oh, bad, because that's offensive. Someone not to agree with that. You see where this is going? You understand that gaming companies and gaming studios are more interested in controlling what you're allowed to say with your voice or your keyboard to anyone else. They're more interested in that than they are in selling their freaking game. Because they're losing people off all this. They don't care. They want to cramp down on free speech. They think your free speech is a bad thing. They think you having an opinion that differs from theirs is terrible and you should be shut up in any way possible. Never. Never. Never ever. I'm going to repeat this. Never. Never, never, ever trust anyone in a gaming company ever again. Ever. Period. I ain't saying you can't buy any games anymore. I'm not saying that. First of all, I don't control you. But I'm telling you, and I'm warning you, these companies have been buttoned up and controlled. There are people in power in these companies who don't give a shit about games, and they don't give a shit about you. And if you think they're there for the money, you're actually wrong. It's not about the money anymore. That was the 80s, the 90s. Those great decades where it was about the money. Everybody wanted money. But slowly since the 2000s, it's been over the last 20, 25 years going towards what it really is right now. They're not interested in money. They're interested in making you do exactly what they say. And there will be no dissent because they will have ways of shutting you up. This is the definition of what? Dictatorship? Nazism? Socialism? Call it what you want. This is a political ideology that has taken over gaming. Once again, I'm going to say everybody thought Helldivers 2 was great. And I'm not saying it's not a great game. A lot of people have had a lot of fun with it. But they were very careful to hide what they wanted to do and to hide who they were for a certain amount of time, weren't they? And then the community managers, they started spouting off, and everybody realized, oh my God, these people in charge of their community don't care about the community at all. They only care about their ideology. Then we learned why. Because that's all Sony cares about too, apparently. See what else Endymion TV has to say about this.
It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. We understand that while this may be an inconvenience to some of you, this step will help us to continue to build a community that you are all proud to be a part of. Many thanks for your continued support of Helldivers 2. End quote.
We want to protect the cream puffs, the less than 1% out there. The only ones we listen to, the only ones we care about. We want to protect them. That's what they're saying. And the rest of you, the other 99%, go fuck yourself. That's kind of what they're saying, people.
So, this has, understandably, pissed off many, especially the PC gaming side of the equation. Yeah. Since many of these Steam users do not want to make a PlayStation account in order to play Helldivers on their preferred platform. This feature has been there since launch, however. During the mega release of Helldivers, it was, of course, optional at the time. And likely, many users just skipped it to get right into the game so that they could get to playing. But now, of course, that is no longer the case. It must be made mandatory going forward. So, why is this all happening? And this is extra weird for me because the PlayStation 5 is my preferred place to play video games myself.
I will let you know. If you don't do this already, you should be. When you buy a game, read the license very, very carefully. Read it and know it. I know it's all fucking lawyer speak. I get it. That's aggravating. But you better damn well take a look at it. Because you are, by buying that game, signing off on that agreement. Also, if you're buying something off Steam, or I don't know, maybe other places as well, but I can only speak about Steam, check the requirements. Be aware what the requirements are. Don't just look to see if your computer is powerful enough. You're like, yeah, it's powerful enough. I got enough RAM. Oh, hey, what's this? I got to sign up for Sony PlayStation account. That's weird. I don't own any Sony PlayStations. Oh, no, I won't worry about it. My friend says he's playing. He didn't have to do it, so it's good. You need to start questioning why that's in the requirements. Why is it there? Ask somebody. Ask somebody at the gaming company. Ask somebody at Steam. Ask somebody on the Discord. Find someone who knows the answer and ask the question. Because you're going to back yourself into a corner where you paid X amount of dollars, what, $40 for Helldivers 2? You're having fun playing with your buddies and everything else, and now you've just got effed up the ass. Yes, you can still keep playing it if you abide by their rules. Yes, you will now be watched constantly. You will be monitored for what you say to other players. You will be banned. Yep.
And this leaves me in a rather, well, weird predicament going forward. The most basic reason I could fathom as to why this exists is simply because Sony wants to boost their PlayStation member account numbers in order to inflate their reports when it comes to quarterly meetings.
If you're thinking this is still about money, which is not.
In case you don't know, Helldivers 2 has sold over 8 million copies so far. It's likely higher now since the last time we had an update, it was from mid-April or so. But anyways, there's clearly a lot of people playing the game right now. I also reported in my previous video that Helldivers 2 is currently the 7th highest grossing game from PlayStation Studios. And this was comparing the game against Sony's other franchises who've had years upon years of time to accumulate sales. So for Helldivers 2 to reach 7th place in 3 months and some change is insane when compared to the juggernaut it's being placed against. The game is doing really well, is what I'm saying. But as I said in that report, the majority of Helldivers 2's success is due to the PC platform. Look, even though I play on PlayStation, you're not going to find me trying to mental gymnastics my way around any facts. I just say how it is on this channel, and the truth is that without the PC platform, Helldivers 2 wouldn't even crack the top 20 selling games of 2024.
So yeah, that's a shout out to the PC people. Not to put any of the, the console people down, just saying. By the way, if you see this and you're like, hey, you're not subscribed to this channel, that's because I'm on my Miss Valley Gaming YouTube channel right now. Sign in, not under Entertainment News. That's why. If I was under Entertainment News, I would be subscribed here. So, you know what? We've got a lot more here, but we're not going to watch all of these videos. We just can't. We're going to jump to the next opinion right now. And do understand that all 5 of these videos will be linked down below if you choose to watch them, and I encourage you to do so. So the next one here is from Geeks and Gamers, extremely political, woke, and hate gamers, Helldivers 2 team exposed. If you think I'm just being conspiracy theory, thinking that it's all about control, here's another opinion.
I'm genuinely sad about what's going on with Helldivers. Gamers don't intentionally want to hate video games. They want to love video games. They want to have fun with them. And Helldivers came along in a really crucial time and really captivated so many gamers out there. And it was great to see so much enthusiasm, but quickly that has gone away in a very short amount of time.
And we'll tackle that, just how it's doing right now on Steam compared to how it was doing. It's really tanked, which is why we called this From Helldivers to Dumpster Divers. Yeah. Why would you kill your game like that? Because it's not about the money. It's about the power and the control over you.
And it's only going to get worse based on the things we are seeing right now at this particular time. Here's a quick summary of what's going on, and then we're going to get into the team around Helldivers and what you can probably expect from them moving forward. Grum says, Helldivers 2, what happened? A summary of the current PSN controversy for people just coming up to speed. A thread.
Here we go.
On May 2nd at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, the official Helldivers X account posted a requirement that all Steam players on PC must create and register a PlayStation Network account to continue playing the game or be locked out. PC players who had been playing for months without this requirement took to social media in droves to protest the new change. The controversy is one of the biggest in recent gaming news, and there are several reasons why players are upset. And if you look at the post, it's so tone deaf. It's unbelievable how tone deaf this post is, talking about how there was a grace period that is now expired, and it's for safety. Ladies and gentlemen, we're partnering with Sony now. Sony, you got to get a Sony account for safety. Gamers saw right through that. So the backlash started then, and it's just continued to get worse. PC players wanted nothing to do with having to create an account on another platform in order to continue enjoying their favorite game.
Of course.
Players felt this was a data grab to bolster PlayStation Network numbers and harvest their information. Sure. Players did not want to support Sony and felt their data was at risk due to several large-profile PlayStation data breaches.
Which is interesting right there. It's something I hadn't thought about. First of all, players don't want to support Sony. Well, yeah, I mean, even some, people who play on PlayStation certainly would understand, like, why would you want to sign up for PlayStation account if you don't have to? If you're on PC, why would you want to sign up for that? Like, a lot of them will say that. But this is interesting. He felt their data was at risk due to several large-profile PlayStation data breaches. That's interesting. Or where could they sell your information to?
Joining PSN required agreements of their terms of service, which many viewed as restricted and arbitrary than Steam's terms of service, giving Sony too much power to ban or regulate their accounts for the game.
And then we just talked about this earlier. They're going to be the judge, the arbitrators, and all these things. Oh, you're allowed to, if we ban you, you're allowed to come back and, file an appeal kind of thing. But who are you appealing to? Sony.
The game was sold on Steam in 190 countries, but 120 of those countries do not allow or have access to PlayStation Network, locking out a huge number of players who were unable to comply but had paid for the game.
Sucks for them.
Even though PlayStation Network was listed as a requirement on the sales page of Helldivers 2, it was not enforced due to what Arrowhead GS claimed was a technical issue. Players felt this was a bait-and-switch tactic, as many have said they would have never bought the game had they known the requirement.
Bait and switch. So if you're going just for the money, you're thinking they had the requirement listed, but they never made it, so that 3 months after the game comes out and they sold, 1 million copies, and so many of these are on Steam, now they can get the Steam players to jump over and sign up for PlayStation accounts, which makes PlayStation's numbers look better, and it's good for them. Sure. That is the money side of that. The other side is let's not enforce this right away. Our goal is to later on get PC people to sign up for this so that we can control them, control the narrative, control what gamers say through our use of bans.
So that is where we are in terms of the getting everybody up to speed. Now we have this post from Grumps. The Helldivers community team is the worst I've seen in gaming.
Wow. This is from Grumps, okay? I have a video out on Grumps, and you'll see it where a woke activist put a $10,000, I think it was $10,000 or $20,000 hit out on him to shut him up. Not all people watch that video, surprisingly. And it goes through, and I talk about who Grumps is and why he's important. If you are a gamer, why this person is probably the most important person in gaming right now. You really need to go and watch that video. In fact, I will link that, if I remember, down below with these other 5 videos. And if you want to check that out, I encourage you to do so, not just because it's my video and it didn't get a lot of views, but because Grumps is really important. I really am understanding that. I think his name is Mark Kearns, his actual name. And he is our gaming insider, our advocate for the voices of gamers. And he knows that industry and he is exposing it, and they fucking hate him.
They are extremely political, woke, and hate gamers. Let's take a look at the lead first, Baskinator.
So yeah, when so as I was saying, when Grum says it's the worst community team he's seen in gaming, that really is really saying something. Like this video, by the way. Did I like the other one? Oops, I guess I didn't. We'll do that.
I've written about Baskinator before, and since then she removed the flags in her bio, but has since replaced them as if we wouldn't have noticed. She is a DEI advocate and appears to hate men, gamers, and white people. Yeah. Welcome to the Helldivers team. We have Spitz, who ignited the PlayStation Network backlash with his mocking of people who complained about the PlayStation Network policy. This extremely unprofessional approach to legitimate game issues that block thousands.
Your community manager mocked people who complained about it. Mocked them. For fuck's sake. These are the most unprofessional people on the planet. And you have to ask why they were hired. Well, it wasn't for their skills with people. It wasn't for their people skills. So why were they hired? They're dots. You need to start connecting them, people. You need to see what's going on here.
Unprofessional approach to legitimate game issues that block thousands of gamers in non-PlayStation Network countries made the problem much, much worse for Arrowhead. He is also a Reddit mod and, of course, appears to have very anti-gamer and appears to be anti-gamer, very anti-gamer. Up next is Misty. So, again, first of all, why are you working for a gaming company if you hate gamers? This is such a trend that we are seeing with these gaming companies. It's such a weird.
And it's a trend. Why? Because this is not about placating the people and speaking nice to the people and making sure we still make money off these people. This is about control. This is about, we don't like you. We hate you. We want to shut you up, and we're going to. We are going to do it, and you can't fucking stop us. La, 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 la. That is what this is. This is a kindergarten match, but you're playing it against billionaires is what's going on, because this is coming directly from the head of these corporations who are doing these hires.
weird dynamic. They work for gaming companies, yet they despise gamers. It's in games journalism. It's in game development. It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
They despise video gamers. They hate gaming culture.
They take over everything you enjoy, and they want to ruin it for you, and they want to ruin you.
They can't stand it. We have Misty right here. Misty claimed the PSN change was to allow her to ban more people effectively, as this was the primary role she relished as community manager. This created great confusion, as another community manager said the change was imposed by Sony's demands.
Okay, I'd like to point out he read that wrong. So it says here, Misty claimed the PSN change was to allow her to ban people more effectively, not ban more people effectively. So, Jeremy, I think his name is, got that wrong when he read it, but still, allowing her, we made this change to allow us to ban people more effectively. What they did is they made the change from terms of service of Steam to terms of service of PlayStation, so they can more effectively ban people. Start thinking about the people they hate, the people they disrespect, and then understand that they want to ban those people after they've taken their money. People, these are not good times we live in. These are not good times, and I hate to bring this shit up because it's all very negative. But if you don't know this stuff and you aren't aware of it, I will keep preaching it until you're aware and until you're out there doing something. Because find something you can do that goes against this. Find a way. First of all, protect yourself. Protect yourself from those who would shut you up and shut up your opinions, who would silence you, who would hate you, who want to do away with you. Protect yourself. Second of all, protect yourself by opening your eyes before you buy the game. Just because a game looks good probably doesn't mean you should subject yourself to this shit. I'm just saying. Again, nothing against anyone who's bought or played Helldivers. Nothing at all. Third of all, find a way to tell others about this, to make sure others are as informed as you are, to make sure that the voices are being heard, that we are saying this cannot stand. Because if we do not, gaming will fall.
The conflicting stories and attacks on gamers make this the worst managed community team I have seen. Misty is also extremely woke, hard left-leaning, and hates Saudi gamers. Then you have combined Baskinator, Spitz, and Misty form the majority of the core of the community management team on Helldivers. They have all gone into hiding since the PlayStation Network backlash hit, the opposite of what community managers should do in a PR crisis. They failed to co-coordinate a coherent response, even though they knew the news was coming. They alternated between mocking gamers, gloating about banning them more effectively, and contradicting themselves in their explanations of the policy. This is a very poorly run community team. The blame lies at Baskinator's feet as the lead. It is also poorly staffed, filled with political activists who actively hate gamers and promote woke politics.
Yep.
So much could have been avoided with the quality team in place, neutral and fair. It's a shame a game as good as Helldivers is hampered by bottom-of-the-barrel DEI hires. Well said indeed.
Thank you, Mark.
But we have another update, because now community manager Spitz has retracted and apologized for his attack on Helldivers fans.
Sorry, you noticed I attacked you.
I think that's a good move, but the unprofessionalism of the initial knee-jerk response was still a very poor one.
Sorry that you noticed that I attacked all of you. Sorry that you called me out on it. Sorry that I looked pretty bad with that. Sorry that you couldn't believe how sorry I am that you just didn't sit down, shut up, and take it. So I guess I'll kind of sort of apologize. And then go right back to doing it again.
And that initial response speaks to what this person actually thinks about gamers. This person despises gamers. Just absolutely does. But let's be fair. Internal discussions are ongoing about the mandatory linking change, and while I can't reveal the details, the response from our dev team has been pretty universally negative, and we're looking for better options.
Universally negative? Go figure.
If a better solution isn't provided for players who are in regions without PSN coverage, I'm assured that we won't be making the requirement mandatory for those players. We're not going to force people to either break Sony's TOS or not play the game.
But yet, they're going to force others to have to. So, wait. Oh, because probably one of many of the places that do have the ability to link to Sony accounts probably are full of white male gamers that they hate. So they want to control them. It's not the rest of the people they're worried about. Oh, well, that's a relief. Whew. I feel better about the whole thing now. Okay, we can cover the rest of this. We're not. We're going to jump to the next one. Let's keep going. I'm sorry this is a long video. I'm sorry I have to cover this shit. I really am. Asmongold, let's do it.
Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Helldivers community manager Misty OW, she deleted her account. Oh my god. Every community manager for Helldivers seems to have gone protected. Community manager...
What? Deleted their accounts and protected their accounts so no one could see what's going on or talk to them. And those are your community managers who the community is supposed to reach out to. I don't know. Do you know? Does that make sense to you?
Should not run and hide when their game is in crisis management. Well, the funny thing is that the reason you need community managers is whenever the shit hits the fan. They have all these community managers, and then the one time that you need them, well, they're like, wow, you guys are stupid, and it doesn't take that long to download, and I'm deleting my account. And it's like, fuck, man.
The reason why this happened is because she received massive backlash after players started questioning the new PSN integration.
Go figure.
And this was her response.
It's a process to force people into an ecosystem when they don't want to because Sony think it will make people pay for their products.
No, it's to allow us to ban people. That is the sole reason.
So you couldn't ban people before? That's a lie.
We could, but this increases the effectiveness of what we can do.
Their job is to deal with this problem, and they're not dealing with it.
So they don't see this as the problem, people. That's why. They don't see this whole, you got to sign up for a Sony account as the problem. They see the people complaining about it as the problem, and they want to ban them. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's exactly what this is. We don't see we're community managers. We don't manage the problems for the community. We manage the community by stroking the freaking life and throwing out the dead bodies of the people we don't agree with and don't like the white male gamers. We're not racist because you can't be racist against white males. Sure. I bet you if you go back in history, I bet you anything that Hitler told the Nazis that they couldn't be racist for hating Jews. I bet. Now, am I comparing these three community managers to Hitler? Not directly, no. I'm not saying they're on equal terms. All right? So don't go there. But I am saying, as an example of how you could just say something that's so ridiculous and people will believe it. Some people. That's the extreme example. And I don't think that example's wrong. I bet you if somebody said, but Adolf, that's racist to single them out. It would have been like, no, you can't be racist against Jews. They're not people. They're less than people. They don't matter. Right? I think history thinks that's pretty darn close.
You know, Spitz, one of the community managers, said this: I was completely unaware how many countries didn't have the availability to make PSN account whenever I made that statement. I deeply regret implying it was easy for everyone to sign up and have to worry about it. It's absolutely not our intention to force people to break Sony TOS or just not play the game if they're in a restricted region. There needs to be a better solution. So this is referring to a statement that this person made yesterday about telling people it was really easy to make an account. This will kill Helldivers 2. Backpedal or lose your player base. And then the community manager says, I thought you were refunding and leaving.
Again, that's their way of dealing with that's their way of managing the community. We're just going to hate you and hate you and hate you until you fucking go away. Never, 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 ever trust anyone in a gaming company. Full stop. Let's move on to the next one. Sony just delisted Helldivers 2 in nearly 199 countries from Geeks and Gamers again. We are moving forward in time as we go here, too. These were, like from yesterday. A couple of these were from yesterday. I think the first two were from yesterday. And then these are kind of going forward in time here.
More Helldivers 2 updates, and very little of it is good. A lot of bad news, but there is some good news, and we're going to talk about that. But first, here's what we know. Helldivers 2 update. Game is now unavailable to purchase on Steam in tons of countries due to the PSN login requirement.
Wow. And they all should all be pissed.
What the hell is wrong with you?
They should all be pissed off.
Steam is approving refund requests for players even if they've played over 2 hours. Over 100,000 negative reviews since the game change was announced. Community managers are encouraging gamers to share thoughts in reviews to pressure Sony.
I call bullshit. They want you to express your views so they know who to ban later. Plain and simple. They're writing you down in a list and they're getting ready to ban you after. Guarantee it.
So the developers are on the side of the gamers. So yes, there was some missteps in the beginning of how some of the community managers and the developers might have handled this and things they were saying, especially in the Discord, but they have righted that wrong, and everybody makes mistakes. And even if I don't like their politics and like some of the things they've said, the game itself is awesome. The game does not represent the weirdo politics of the community manager.
But you're just saying the community managers are on the side of the gamers. Everything they've done is against the gamers. Jeremy, how can you flip and say they're on the side of the gamers?
And that's really all I'm worried about. Quarterblack Garrett says devs back the players, said request refunds and negatively review their own game. Good on the dev team.
So the developers, the dev team are on the gamer side. Well, that's great. You can't really reach out directly to the development team, though, because they have community managers to do that who are not on your side. Who are actually waiting to ban you. It's like a vicious circle, and as you run on the circle and the circle keeps moving, you may be actually getting somewhere, but there's spikes all on the inside of the circle, and it's cutting you to shreds. Do you understand what's going on here?
Sony pulls the game from regions instead of just not requiring an account. They got the bag and said, screw off. Fuck Sony.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That's great. Now, I don't know who Black Garrett is. I don't know. To me, it sounds like Black Garrett is not a dev, so this is Black Garrett saying this, not the devs saying this. So the devs, according to Black Garrett, said request refunds and negatively review the own game. Black Garrett says Sony pulls the game from regions instead of not requiring an account, and they got the bag and said screw off. Fuck. So don't get those things wrong. Don't think, oh, the devs are saying, oh man, the Sony just went for, to screw us over for the money and blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what the devs are saying. That is not what the devs are saying. The devs are upset that people around the world are not going to be able to play their game now because of the account linkage. Okay? That's what the devs are excited about. And they should be. If they're proud of their game, they should want people to continue playing it, obviously. The devs are not saying, fuck Sony and everything else, okay? Those are just people saying that.
So here's what the statement was. Players making their displeasure known through reviews, refunds, etc. gives us more pull in the discussions with Sony. They don't read our Discord. It hurts to see the game's popularity suffer in ratings, but discussions are ongoing and our team is on the side of the players in this fight. That is the most crucial element of all of it. So forget what was said in the Discord, because the main person in the community, they did apologize. But that line right there, that they
So don't go complain on our Discord, because the community managers are not on your side. Even the devs are basically saying that without saying it. So gaming companies like this will take the developers' work, they will sell that work, they will rake in the money, and they will fuck over the people to try to ban them. Because they don't like them, they just want their money. And let's jump over here. Razovi revived Steam refunds Helldivers 2 for everyone.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Razovi, and today I want to talk about Helldivers 2. Now, this is a topic that I am sure you must have heard of if you have played this game, because there is a controversy going on with this game, and I think you know. If you don't know, I'll talk about it. Feel free to skip ahead if you already know what the controversy is and you just want to get to the message of this video.
I do.
However, for the folks that don't know, Helldivers 2 used to be an incredibly popular game. It's basically like an online co-op game where you try to free, quote unquote, the world of anything evil, quote unquote, and you do that together in online co-op. And this recently launched, well, quite recently, it's 8th of February, and really it got raving reviews. People loved it. But as you can see now, it's mostly negative. 21% has left
Recent
a
reviews,
positive review in the last 30 days. 21%. Even though this game was incredibly popular.
Yep.
Now, there's a reason for this. Basically, what the developers of this game now want you to do is they want you to sign up for a PSN account, right? A PlayStation account. And once you do that, you have to link your Steam, right? Your Steam account to this PSN account, and then you can continue playing the game.
Yo, do it.
There are multiple problems with this. The first problem is a ownership problem, so to speak. The most basic one, in my opinion. You bought this game, right? It should be yours. Yet now all of a sudden they are basically trying to force you to do something.
This is the communist idea that you don't actually own anything, the state owns everything. That's what it is. Trust me, I'm in Canada. I understand a little bit about communism now, because trying to get forced down our throats from our elected officials.
Something that you don't want to do, you have to sign up for something else, even though you have already purchased the game. Meaning that the feeling of ownership is completely gone, right? So that is the first reason. But the biggest reason, and that is especially for folks that are not able to sign up for a PSN account, is now what? If I am unable to sign up for a PSN account, right? If that is something that I cannot do because of my country's restrictions, then what in the world am I going to do? You will not be able to play this game anymore. Yet you paid for it. I believe it's $40. It's 40 euros, right? In my country, we use euros. And I'm assuming it's also then $40, maybe a little more, since the dollar is valued less than the euro. Maybe
a little more for Canadian dollars.
I don't know, but give or take $40, right? Yet now you would not be able to play the game anymore. That is insane. And at first I didn't want to make a video on this, simply because there is so much outrage that this small little video of mine most likely is going to be a drop in the ocean, not in the pond, but in the ocean. But then I read this. Steam is seemingly waiving the refund playtime limit for Helldivers 2 players. Helldivers 2 players are reporting successful refunds despite their playtime exceeding the 2-hour limit. And this makes me really happy.
I do wonder, though, you got 100 or 200 or 300 hours in Helldivers because you just really been enjoying it with your buddies. You still gonna be able to refund it? I don't know.
Basically means that even though you exceeded your 2 hours of playtime, meaning on Steam, for the folks that are not really well versed in Steam, basically you are allowed to play any game on Steam. Any game. As long as you play it under 2 hours, you can get a refund for it, which is really cool. But in this case, they are giving.
Side note, I've had games that didn't even launch for me that Steam refused to actually refund for me. So, I shouldn't say games, one game. Can't remember what the game was called now, but yeah, it literally launched to the main screen, the title screen, and then froze, refused to go any further, and Steam would not actually refund the game. It was like a $6 game or something. I think Steam was upset because I had bought a bunch of really cheap games that week, and I think I had already refunded 3 other games during that same week because they didn't work or they were just absolute crap. Couldn't play them. For that game, they just said no, your refund is not allowed, even though I literally had no time in the game. So, Steam, yeah. You know what? Even sometimes Steam lies.
Giving out refunds even to folks who played it way more. And this is great for multiple reasons. Reason number 1, if you can't play the game anymore, you should be able to get a refund. It's your money,
yes,
right? Reason number 2, this shows that Steam is actually caring about the community, right? And it's also quite a big middle finger to PlayStation, to Sony specifically, right? Because these are business practices that I genuinely dislike. This is something that no one should be able to do. Look, I get that nowadays you don't really own your games anymore. I get that, which bothers me a lot, but I get that. I don't agree with it, but I know that that is what is going on, right? You don't really own your games.
Anyways, I'm gonna end this right here because we've been going for like 46 minutes. Everybody, if you stuck through to the very end, please drop down below and let me know. I watched the whole thing. I really, if so, I really do appreciate you. I know time is precious. Look, my name is Dredd. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News, and we are covering this because it is very important to understand this is not the only company that's going to do these things. Okay, you need to be aware of this kind of stuff creeping into gaming. And now it really is legitimately creeping in. It's creeping in with a little tent over it. It looks like, oh, look, it's a little circus tent. Oh, this is great. Look at a little circus tent over there. And then they throw the tent off after 3 months, and it's like, no, it's a fucking, like, it's got all kinds of death traps and shit in there. And a bunch of fucking, like psychotic, mass murderers and shit. Like it's literally pulling the wool over your eyes. And that's what they've purposely done here. You need to be aware this is not the only gaming company doing this. This is getting pushed from far above, and it is going to happen all over the place. Protect yourself, be aware, and stand up and make a difference. Once again, for Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dredd. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.